Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel Curiosity Rocks, and this is an autism education video all about my echolalia. I should have got all the definition ready, but echolalia is repeating words and sounds, and it can also be, which is a different word, there's a different but similar word to describe echolalia with body movements. The only people who have seen me fully without any inhibitions are mum and dad, because when I've had boys round, there is a certain amount of my echolalia that I sort of soften down a bit because I feel a bit shy to do. But basically, if you was like a fly on the wall at my house, then you would see me talking to the invisible people nearly all the time. You'd see me, when I get up in the mornings, you'd see me shouting and just sort of vocalizations, is that a word? Vocalizations just of noise, just because it feels good to get because it feels good to sort of make the noise. I randomly have songs that just suddenly appear in my brain that I want to sing, and they're not always related to anything during that particular day, but I am a bit psychic because I do sometimes start singing a song and then it'll just come on like 2 seconds after I've sung it or something. So my echolalia is partly talking to myself and I don't talk to myself as in I address myself. I talk to the invisible people, a bit like when when the doctor's doing his fourth wall breaking. That's what I do too, basically. Is I just talk to the invisible people and sort of project it outwards rather than focus inwards and know that it's me talking to myself. I project it outwards. So I'm very loud. If you happen to be somebody I am incredibly comfortable with, then I get very loud and tend to talk over programs and then get really excited about something and start la 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 la, and then I get told, shut up, I'm watching this. It's like, oh, because I guess I could combine this video into echolalia at home and selective mutism. So this is an echolalia and selective mutism autism education video. So I've always been louder at home than anywhere else because it's my place and it's my space, and there's nobody judging me, and I can talk to my teddy bears and the invisible people and sing and do adverts and stuff. That's what I do when it's like me. And then my other echolalia is the repeating the words, because just like it, like mum's like say, for example, say, oh apple, shall we get some strawberry cheesecake? And I'll say cheesecake, like that. and that happens quite often. So, you know, on Family Guy, where there's the Kool-Aid man with the jug, he says, "Oh no, oh no, oh yeah!" That's my echolalia. That's part of my echolalia, because there's some that's like the steady train of echolalia, and then there's the other stuff that's the Kool-Aid man. So, and obviously I really enjoy repeating stuff off the tally and stuff, because it's fun. So I'm really loud at home. Selective mutism has always been part of my life since I was very little. Even with my grandparents, I used to be with my grandparents. I was selective mute with the female grandparents, but I've always found it easier to not more males, but easier to speak to the male grandparents, and easier to ask for games that I wanted to play and stuff, like rolling the ball down the pipe, and easier to like ask for shall we climb the hill and stuff. So it's always been easier with male grandparents than with the female grandparents. So I've been very, very mute with female grandparents. So I don't know why, it's just easier to talk to the males. And at school I was pretty much didn't really speak much at all. I had a best friend who I did speak to, and he was awesome, because my best memory of that friend was when we had to go and play rounders, and he decided, because everybody was laughing at me because I couldn't run fast enough, he decided that he was going to like run round the rounders course, saying there's a bull running after you, there's a bull running after you. So I ran all the way round and we won the rounders. So that was fun, and he was nice. But I've always been really quiet at school. Like I've always been scared about talking about how I had food in my mouth, and I've always had trouble with asking for the toilet and asking for like personal things, like when feeling sad, or I've always been scared of like asking for stuff. And so at primary school I usually got on with my English, and maths was really, I struggled with maths, and I just wouldn't ask for help. So primary school was really difficult until they changed the headmaster over. So there was a moment where I was meant to be going up to the top of the class, but we had a headmaster who shouted, and I was always scared of teachers that shout, because even if they're not telling me off, it is incredibly painful when teachers shout, but you don't quite know when they're going to shout, and you know there's some little bastard troublemakers in your class that they're going to make the teacher shout. So I have managed to avoid a class, I think. Although I think, so then we had a new headmaster, and he was lovely and kind, and he didn't shout, so it was easier to be slightly more confident, only tiny slightly more confident, but I still sort of conversed with the class through this best friend that I had. It was easier to like connect to him and then connect to the class. So yeah, I've been selectively mute all through school and most of college, because like you just freeze up and it's like, oh, a cat, I hear a cat, and it's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just, my dad's here, and like I freeze up and it's just an ice cube kind of thing. So yeah, selectively mute all through school, and I was also very, and when I did speak I was very, very quiet. So at one point the most horriblest thing ever at high school was when a teacher tried to get me to shout outside in the playground when all the other kids were inside in lesson. And I was meant to shout in the playground, and I was, when all the other kids would hear me and come running to the windows like, oh, and have more of a reason to bully me. And then the teachers at school were obsessed with getting me to talk and getting me to be loud at the same time as getting all the other kids to be quiet. So it didn't make any sense to me. My family, I'm selectively mute with most of my relatives. I find it most easier to be loud and be mute with mum and dad and my auntie, but the other aunties and uncles, it's really difficult because they're very loud people, so it's really hard to get a word in unless you shout. So it's been really hard for ages, but I've started to get more comfortable at speaking up when it's my cousins, when my cousins are there. But it's still really hard, but it's got a bit more easy to talk to my cousins. But it's just like when we have big gatherings, there's like a ton of us, and like everybody's like partners and boyfriends and things, and just me on my Todd, because like feeling jealous that they've got boyfriends and stuff, and it's really hard to talk until I had a big meltdown, and then I found the courage to actually say, to express that I found sensory stuff really difficult and I wasn't coping that day, kind of stuff. I also have selective mutism at conventions, sci-fi conventions, but I've been really good because I found I met some really nice people at conventions, because who I did quizzes, who played games with, and they were really nice. But it's still hard to actually, when it's like you're in the queue and a crowd of people, it's just hard to actually speak up or join in with talking about the convention and stuff. So yeah, there's sometimes that people, like at Artscape this year, it was difficult because I set myself this thing where, oh, I'm gonna lead the talking about this, I'm going to be really good, and then I was planning it all out. I was like, oh, it's gonna be real good, right, I'm gonna say this, but my selective mutism crashed down on me, and I got anxiety and I was upset and I was crying and I chickened out of it. so I didn't quite manage that plan. Because I found that people, when they see me on my videos, they think, oh, she's going to be all bubbly and talking like she does on her videos, but it's not that easy. It's easy on a video because it's just this camera here. That's all there is there, a camera. It's just a camera, and it's not judging me, and I don't have to pick my moment to dive in when I have to talk, and it's not judging my facial expressions. And what I am saying now doesn't have to be projected to the world if I don't want it to. But when it's a person, it's like once you've expressed a movement, or that sounds weird, when you've actually done some body language or speaking, you've done it there, and it's too late to do anything about it. And then, especially if it's someone I kind of fancy or I think's really good looking, it's like, but it's really helpful when I have an ally who takes me over to talk to people. It's like, I want to talk to him. It's like, go on. And it was really fun at Autism this year because that happened, because I wanted to talk to a cute boy, and so there was a friend who's been to a few Autisms now, and we went over to talk to this cute boy because she's a bit more confident at talking than I am. So once I get the person introducing me and why I've shoved the "I love Doctor Who" in their face, then it's easier. So if you start me talking about Doctor Who, then it's like popping the cork. Doctor Who, it was like, because I was at the doctor's one time and there was a trainee doctor there, and he said, and I was like, and then the doctor had to go off to get some paperwork or something, and I was like, and then the trainee doctor said, "I hear you like Doctor Who," and I said, "Yeah, I love Doctor Who. Did you know that David Tennant did this?" And so I got real enough all my stuff about Doctor Who. So that what makes it easier. Also, what makes it easier is being in a conversation where it's 3 people. I've found that is what I like, is 3 people, is where, because I can say something and then that person can say something and then the other person, and they can like give a different angle, and it's a lot easier to manage when it's just me and 2 other people, because I don't have to, because the other people could be talking and I could be thinking of how to say the next bit, and it's not like 2 people and we have to keep the train going, like, because like steam trains, when somebody's shoveling the coal in, I can have a rest from shoveling the coal in while they shovel the coal in, then I'll shovel a bit more then. So that's what it's nice. So I miss I guess the people who knew me the most are my cuddly toys and Jet, my cat, because they're the ones who get the most loudest stuff that I do. And then it's my parents, and then my dad's got this best friend, and it's taken me quite a long time to get used to being like just generally chatting in front of him. It took me quite a long time to get comfortable with that. So yeah. So what the noises I make and how loud I am depends on how much I trust someone, and how much I trust that person just loves me for being Helen, because that makes it easier. And also it helps a lot when someone is like is some, like, when they're sort of like silly and tiggery and loud as well. When somebody's just like a lovely person but is like really quiet and just sits there, it's like, I just get really stressed, like, what do I do? What do I do? And I guess that's how people feel when I'm really quiet, so it's just really hard. But yeah, my sort of on button is by talking about Doctor Who, basically, and then I have loads to talk about. What else was I going to say? Since I started doing YouTube, it is a lot easier to get my voice out, because I've learned to practice like actually speaking and being able to get my thoughts out to a camera and then just putting it up on YouTube, and it's helped a lot to practice my speaking and stuff. And the lovely comments I've had from my viewers has really boosted my confidence, and the fact that people want to hear more stuff from me, and that they say they like my voice and that I'm cute, and that it's just really boosted me confidence to want to talk more. And that's kind of what made me more confident at the sci-fi conventions, was people like accepted me for my personality and stuff. So that's how YouTube has helped me too. I'm gonna stop it now then. So if you have any specific questions I could answer in a more structured like question and answer video about echolalia and selective mutism, then please leave them in the comments section. So I hope you have enjoyed this video, and thank you for watching. Yay!